So when you start writing VBA code, it is inevitable that you will run into errors. And Excel will give you some pop-up error notifications, but sometimes these notifications don't give you the best explanation as to why your code is breaking. So I want to take the time and give you some useful tips on how to debug your code, how to step through your code so you can have a better understanding how your code is performing, and how to handle VBA errors. And the way that I'm going to present these useful tips is to write a piece of code that prompts the user with the input box to enter their date of birth and have a message box display their current age. But throughout the process, I'm going to show you some potential errors that could happen, and that's where we will cover how to add more code to our sub procedure to make our sub bulletproof from errors. For this video, we will be working directly inside the important VBA logic module. So to start off, let's add a new sub, and I'm going to name it debug tips. And remember, our goal is to prompt the user for an input box to allow them to enter their date of birth. So the first thing we have to do is declare our variable. So we can type in dim. I'm going to name the variable DOB for date of birth, and let's declare it as date. Now let's give this variable a value to store. So we can type in the variable name equals input box and have it say, please enter your date of birth. So now we need to figure out how to calculate the user's age. So we can type in age equals, and we need to take the year of the date value that the user put in the input box and subtract it from the current year. Well, you know how Excel has many different functions, right? Well, VBA has its own list of functions too. And one of its functions is to grab the current date and time, which is the now function. So we can type in now, open parentheses, close parentheses, minus the user's date value, which is stored in the variable DOB. And then let's display a message box that says, you are space, close quotes, and then grab the age variable by using the ampersand sign, typing in age, ampersand sign, open quotes, space, years, young, close quotes. And let's run this sub and see what happens. We get our input box saying, please enter your date of birth. So if I put 06, 08, 1996, click OK. Whoa, our message box says you are 8,920.700 and so on years young. Well, if you're ever not sure how your VBA code is calculating, you can go through the process of stepping through your code and see the values that your variables hold. For example, if we click OK, and inside of our sub, we can press F8 on our keyboard to step through our code line by line. So if I press F8, it highlights the line that it's currently on, and we can keep on pressing F8 to go line by line. And when you are stepping through your code, the line that is highlighted is saying this is the line that's going to be executed next. So if I press F8 again, it will run this input box line. We are prompted with the input box, so we can put in the date value again. Click OK or enter. Now we are able to see what value our variables store. So if we move our cursor over DOB, it says DOB equals 6/8/1996. So we know that this variable stored the correct value. And we can press F8 again. Now if we hover over age, we get that 8,920 figure. So why is it getting that figure? Well, if we hover over now, we get the date and the time. We just want to get the current year and then subtract the year of our DOB variable. And we can use another function within VBA to get the current year of a date value, which is called year. So right before the now function, we can type in year, open parentheses, and then at the end of the now function, we can put close parentheses. And that will get the current year of this now value. Let's do the same to our DOB variable. We can type in year, open parentheses, and then close parentheses. So now let's stop this sub and start stepping through this sub again. So if we click F8, enter our date value. So our DOB variable equals 6/8/1996, F8 again. Now our age value equals 24, because we are just taking the year of the DOB variable and we are subtracting it from the current year of this now value. So if we press F8 again, we get the message box saying you are 24 years young. So that's how you can step through your code to get a better understanding on what values are getting stored in your variables and how your code is actually performing.